As if to prove that the vow was the real deal, a lightning strike struck Wu Yonghong after vowing in the name of heaven and earth. Lu Qingshan expressed his disbelief. He thought it would be impossible for him to witness the vows of heaven and earth. But he actually did, leaving him with no regrets in his life. Zhu Yun didn't know what the vows of heaven and earth were, so Lu Qingshan explained to her that the vow was a kind of contract that could only be signed by a martial emperor existence. With heaven and earth as evidence, once signed, it would be an absolute contract that could not be violated. For him to be able to make a powerful person like Wu Yonghong take the vows of heaven and earth, Lu Qingshan wondered how terrifying the realm of Yifeng's cultivation base was. Wu Yonghong informed Yifeng that the contract had been established. He then said that he would do whatever Yifeng wanted him to do. Yifeng asked Wu Yonghong if he had really done whatever he wanted. Wu Yonghong quickly replied, saying that he had. But to his surprise, Yifeng forced him out of the martial arts gym forging house. Wu Yonghong was under the impression that a man like him wasn't needed by Yifeng, whom he thought was a man of honor. But the contract had already been signed. Wu Yonghong told Yifeng that he would repay his kindness. He then said that the mountains would never change, the water would always flow long. Just like that, they would see each other again. Yifeng thought that Wu Yonghong was just a stupid middle-aged man. Zhu Yun was shocked. She didn't think that you would actually ignore the heaven contract of the city slaughter demon. Lu Qingshan believed that that kind of thing could only be done by Yifeng. After dealing with Wu Yonghong, Yifeng finally had the chance to ask Lu Qingshan and Zhu Yun what they had come for. Moments later, after knowing that they had come to give him a gift, Yifeng told Lu Qingshan and Zhu Yun that they were too polite. When Yifeng said that the glass ball's workmanship was pretty good, Lu Qingshan couldn't help but wonder if their Qingshan treasure flame orb was just a ball in Yifeng's eyes. After feeling the warmth of the Qingshan treasure flame orb, Yifeng felt satisfied and said that he could use it as a warm baby in winter. Lu Qingshan and Zhu Yun were glad that Yifeng liked their gift, but they just felt that there was a slight gap in their hearts. Yifeng told Zhu Yun that it just so happened that he had finished writing a novel, so he would give it to her as a gift in return. Zhu Yun was startled after learning that the title of the book was Flying Snow Shoots the White Deer. She was certain that the book was full of pure martial arts since her master had been promoted because of it. She quickly told Yifeng that they would be taking their leave already, saying that their farmhouse had still been busy. After thanking Yifeng, Zhu Yun immediately ran away, leaving her master behind. She was thinking that with the book, she would be able to break through immediately. Seeing how excited Zhu Yun and Lu Qingshan were, Yifeng wondered if they were his first fans. Suddenly, Zhang King called Yifeng, informing him that his carriage was ready. The moment they got out, the carriage's coachman was surprised and told Yifeng that it was a pleasure to be at his service. Yifeng yelled at Zhang King, pointing out to him that he was supposed to look for a donkey cart so they could save some money. But Zhang King just said to Yifeng that he had prepared the best carriage for him since he was going out. Out of irritation, blood flowed out of Yifeng's mouth, but he didn't pursue the matter any further. He told Zhang King that maybe he would become a billionaire when he got back. Zhang King couldn't help but ask Yifeng what he was going to do for him to have that confidence. Yifeng didn't reveal anything to Zhang King. He just told him that he would know when he got back. Meanwhile, at Qingshan Gate, Lu Qingshan was furious. He scolded Zhu Yun for accepting the book without his permission, saying that he had been about to decline it. He then told Zhu Yun that it wasn't time for her to retreat and that she wouldn't be able to grasp the supreme pure martial arts intent in the book, telling her that the water was too deep for her. Since he seemed to be saying that he didn't want it, Zhu Yun ordered Lu Qingshan to let go of her book. In response, Lu Qingshan reminded Zhu Yun how she didn't believe him when he told her about Yifeng. Zhu Yun reasoned that she hadn't expected that there would be a great power in the little Jiangping city. Lu Qingshan informed Zhu Yun that in ancient times, Jiangping was the place where the immortal families practiced, so it was sufficient to say that Jiangping was not an ordinary place. Zhu Yun wondered how it was related to Yifeng. Suddenly, Lu Qingshan shared with Zhu Yun that he thought Yifeng might be in the next big game. Yifeng entered the Pingjiang Chamber of Commerce, carrying a book with him. His financial situation was beyond any help, but if the deal that he came for happened, Yifeng thought that he would be able to live a life free from worries. A middle-aged man, who didn't seem to be expecting Yifeng's arrival, informed Yifeng that someone called Boss Mao wanted him to go to the guest room. As soon as he entered the room, a man immediately invited Yifeng to have some tea. The man told Yifeng that he had read his novel and thought it was wonderful, especially the Stardust verses. For his part, Yifeng felt awkward. He didn't remember writing the part that the man mentioned. He wondered if the man had really read the novel he wrote. The man then said that those of them who did business of hundreds of millions of dollars respected cultural people the most. Yifeng reminded the man that he had promised to continue printing the book. But to his disappointment, the man said to him that printing those fairy tales of his was quite unnecessary. The man was actually the chairman of Pingjiang Chamber of Commerce, Mao Lin, who was a mortal. Mao Lin explained to Yifeng that it couldn't be helped since they were a large chamber of commerce, and there were a bunch of people below pointing at him to feed. He thought that Yifeng's stuff just didn't pay off. Mao Lin said that just thinking about the books gave him a headache, but he asked Yifeng to not take his words personally, saying that he was just a more straightforward person. Mao Lin then offered Yifeng some money so he could try elsewhere. He said that he would definitely help Yifeng since he saved his life. Yifeng stood up and quickly declined Mao Lin's offer. Mao Lin looked down on Yifeng so much that he even had the audacity to tell Yifeng to visit him again next time. As he watched Yifeng's back, Mao Lin thought to himself that Yifeng's books were nothing more than a little piece of junk. Suddenly, Mao Lin's daughter, Yuna, entered the room and asked Mao Lin who the person he had a meeting with was. When Mao Lin asked her why she came, Yuna reminded Mao Lin that he had promised to introduce her to the author of Dream of Red Mansions. She then asked Mao Lin why he hadn't introduced her yet, and if Yifeng was the author. Day by day, Yuna had been getting addicted to Yifeng's books. Mao Lin was afraid that she wasn't even learning about business at all. He informed Yuna that Yifeng would not continue publishing books in their commerce. Yuna was aware that the sales volume of Dream of the Red Mansions made a lot of money for the Chamber of Commerce, so she couldn't understand why they would suddenly stop publishing the books. Mao Lin told Yuna that Yifeng was just a poor peasant and that if he didn't help him, he wouldn't have a chance to publish a book. For him, Yifeng's book was just a drop in the bucket compared to the center of gravity of their Chamber of Commerce. Mao Lin then ordered Yuna to study business from the seniors of the Chamber of Commerce. Yuna expressed how she hated doing business. She told Mao Lin that even if she wanted to do business, her reading wouldn't affect it. Mao Lin demanded Yuna not to say another word. It was a critical period of competition with the Beifeng Chamber of Commerce. He ordered someone to take Yuna away and not to let her out until she checked out all of the accounts from the previous few days. Yuna pleaded with her father to hear her out, but to no avail. She got locked in her own room. Meanwhile, somewhere on the streets, Yifeng grumbled about life not being easy for everyone. Moments later, Lan Zhu and Luo Lai, who had just been walking on the street, saw Yifeng. Luo Lai asked Yifeng what he was doing there. Yifeng, who was initially surprised, told Lan Zhu and Luo Lai what had happened. After hearing Yifeng's story, Lan Zhu expressed that she hadn't expected that Yifeng was the author of all the popular novels in Jiangping City. She then said that it just happened that her uncle had told them to deliver some fruits to Yifeng. Luo Lai remembered that Lan Zhu had been enjoying reading novels recently. She was about to reveal something, but she suddenly stopped talking. Yifeng was confused as to why Luo Lai had suddenly become silent. Lan Zhu held Luo Lai's head while ordering her to shut up. She even pinched Luo Lai's rear just to make sure that she wouldn't reveal anything. Luo Lai transformed. She promised Lan Zhu that she would never let her admiration for Yifeng's literary skills get in the way. She then demanded Lan Zhu to stop pinching her rear. Yifeng was once again shocked by Luo Lai's transformation. He advised Luo Lai that she needed to cure her constitution. Luo Lai just told Yifeng that he could eat as much fruit as he liked. Although he was still having a hard time adjusting to Luo Lai's transformed state, Yifeng still replied, saying that he would gladly take the fruits. Lan Zhu stared at Yifeng. She still couldn't believe that he was the author of the books she liked. She hadn't expected Yifeng's heart to be so delicate, soft, and firm, and that family and sect affairs, as well as the love of his disciple, could all come together in one person. When Yifeng suddenly turned in her direction, Lan Zhu quickly looked away. At the same time, Luo Lai couldn't help herself from grinning while watching Lan Zhu stare at Yifeng admiringly. Luo Lai suddenly got an idea. She wanted to do something nice. Luo Lai asked Yifeng to come with her, telling him that she had a way to help him publish his book. The invitation was so sudden, so Yifeng asked Luo Lin to confirm if she could really publish his books. Luo Lai confirmed that she could. She informed Yifeng that her father was the chairman of the Beifeng Chamber of Commerce, so publishing a book was just a matter of minutes. Lan Zhu thought that Luo Lai made a great move. She was under the impression that Yifeng was so out of the ordinary and so far into the world that he had always been reluctant to reveal his identity, which was why he encountered such confusion. Out of nowhere, Luo Lai said that she had one small condition. She told Yifeng that she would publish a book for him if he kissed Lan Zhu. Yifeng and Lan Zhu blushed. They were caught off guard by Luo Lai's sudden condition. They were so confused that they didn't know what to say. Luo Lai asked Yifeng what he thought about her condition. Yifeng admitted that it was the first time he had heard of that kind of request. Yifeng had zero experience. He had never been in love and had always been single. Yifeng thought to himself that he had been single for many years, but finally had a chance to get in touch with Lan Zu. On that day, Yifeng vowed that he would say goodbye to his first kiss and welcome the bright moments of life. He told Lu Lai that since she had proposed, he would sacrifice his first kiss for her, saying that the color is emptiness, and emptiness is color. Lan Zu quickly moved away from Yifeng, thinking that the phrase color is emptiness and emptiness is color was the supreme state. Lan Zu suddenly understood something. There were 3,000 worlds, each had its own way of cultivation. Rumor had it that there was a double cultivation method. Mutual contact of skin, the yin and yang were connected, and the breathing between the two helped each other, which could double enhance the realm. Lan Zu thought that Yifeng's heart was full of love, and because she was weak, he shed tears out of pity. Lan Zu believed that Yifeng was willing to use that method to help her improve, so she hated herself for thinking some nonsense. Lan Zu immediately told Yifeng that Luo Lai was reckless and didn't know what was good or bad, hence, she had made such an excessive request. She then asked for Yifeng's forgiveness, saying that it was their honor to help a man of great wisdom like Yifeng, and that they dared not have any ulterior motives. Luo Lai was confused. She could clearly see that Yifeng was willing to do it, so she couldn't understand why Lan Zu was saying those things. Yifeng initially told Lan Zu that he wasn't against it, but he quickly changed his words. To make it sound more honorable, he told Lan Zu that it wasn't too much for him to do. Lan Zu said that there was no need for Yifeng to say more, saying that she knew that she was unworthy. She then told Yifeng that they should already go to the Beifeng Chamber of Commerce so they could discuss the book publishing. Yifeng tried to convince himself that it was okay, that it was alright, and that it didn't matter. He became certain that there was no such thing as a good thing in the world. Later that day, in the Beifeng Chamber of Commerce, Luo Lai's father greeted the group of three and asked Luo Lai to introduce him to her friend that he had heard about. Luo Lai's father, Yingxing, who was the chairman of Beifeng Chamber of Commerce, was immortal. Luo Lai ran towards her father with her arms spread out. Yingxing told Luo Lai that she had grown up, so it would be better if she learned to control herself. Luo Lai asked Yingxing if it was because he felt bad about his floor tiles again. Yingxing explained that the floor tiles had just been changed. He asked Luo Lai to quickly get up so the guests wouldn't laugh at them. Moments later, inside the hall, while Luo Lai was offering Yifeng her favorite dish, Dragon Beard Crisp, Yingxing covertly shared with Lan Zu that he thought Yifeng had an extraordinary temperament. He then asked her who Yifeng was. Lan Zu told Yingxing that she couldn't reveal too much about Yifeng's identity, but reminded him that even her respected master had to call Yifeng Mr. Yi. Yingxing was astounded. He hadn't expected that Luo Lai would bring him such a great Buddha, a person respected by the sect leader of Qingshan. Yingxing quickly asked Yifeng if the refreshment had satisfied his appetite. Yifeng said that it was very delicious. He then thanked Yingxing for his hospitality. Yingxing respectfully told Yifeng that Luo Lai was fortunate enough to meet him and that it was the blessing of their Yin family. Yingxing told Yifeng not to worry after saying that he knew why Yifeng had come. Yingxing informed his butler that starting that day, Beifeng Chamber of Commerce would do its best to help Yifeng publish his books, whether it was through typesetting or printing. He then told his butler that he would be the one to take responsibility if there were any errors. The butler reminded Yingxing that their Chamber of Commerce focused on jewelry, gold, and silver, and supplies for cultivators. He then said that they were at a critical moment for the classification of the first-tier Chamber of Commerce, so if they were distracted by publishing a book, the market would be easily invaded by the Pingjiang Chamber of Commerce. Yingxing asked the butler where he had gotten the courage to teach him how to do things. Seeing that it might cause problems for the original business of their Chamber of Commerce, Yifeng told Yingxing that it was unnecessary for him to help him. Yingxing assured Yifeng that he didn't have to worry too much, telling him that their Chamber of Commerce was already preparing to open up a cultural market, and that it just so happened that he brought the book. He then said that it was a great opportunity, and he was very happy to ask for it. Luo Lai was skeptical. It sounded like an ad hoc decision to her. After hearing Yingxing's words, Yifeng stopped thinking twice. He simply accepted the offer and thanked Yingxing. A few days later, under the full operation of the Beifeng Chamber of Commerce, a book called The Supreme Treasure and Zixia Fairy was born in Jiangping. The love, hatred, and enmity of the two protagonists in the book aroused the resonance of countless people, and the first edition of the book was quickly swept away. As a result, a book-chasing craze emerged in the city and even spread outside the city. Lan Zu uttered the words "I love you" for 10,000 years. She believed that in their world, only Yifeng could write those kinds of books. Out of nowhere, Zhu Yun appeared. She asked Lan Zu what had happened in their sect while she was in retreat. She noticed that everyone in their sect was just slacking around, and there were only a few disciples on the martial arts field. Lan Zhu told Yun that it was probably related to Yifeng's book. She then said that, looking at the entire Jiangping, almost everyone had that book. People were utterly intoxicated, so they didn't have the mind to practice. Yun's eyes widened after hearing that it was Yifeng's book. She took the book from Lan Zhu and then said that she would be in retreat for 2 days. Yun left their sex affairs in Lan Zhu's care. Lan Zhu was left bewildered. Yun had just come out of retreat, yet she was already going on another retreat. Meanwhile, on the plaza in Jiangping, people were gathering. The popularity of the book had an unprecedented and bizarre phenomenon in Jiangping City. A woman expressed her wonder about when her hero would step on the colorful auspicious clouds to marry her. A man from the audience commented, saying that if the day he met his true love came, he would say those 3 words to her. A man then told the woman that if there was a deadline for their love, he hoped that it would be 10,000 years. The men behind the woman watched the scene in front of them with their mouths agape. They thought that it would be their turn. Yu Wuji, a spy who was a Qingshan sect disciple at the martial master realm, sneaked out of the farce that was happening behind him. Yu Wuji was laughed at by his companion. He said that he had never seen a mortal jump like Yu Wuji did. Yu Wuji expressed his contempt, saying that the mortals of Jiangping City were a bunch of comfortable salted fish. They had searched for so long but hadn't found any clue regarding Jing Wuchen. Yu Wuji's companion suggested that Yu Wuji should come back to reality, telling him that it would be a waste of time to wait any longer. Yu Wuji told his companion that he was afraid that the old man had another move in store for them. At the same time, in the Pingjiang Chamber of Commerce, it was known that there could only be one first-level Chamber of Commerce in a city, and they were at the right time for the Chamber of Commerce to be ranked. Thanks to the books, the revenue of Beifeng Chamber of Commerce was 20% higher than Pingjiang Chamber of Commerce. Not to mention, the reputation of Beifeng had also risen. The man seated across from Mao Lin said that if they didn't find a way to suppress it, the title of the first-class Chamber of Commerce would fall to someone else. Mao Lin realized that, in a moment of carelessness, he had missed a good opportunity and had been picked up by Beifeng Chamber of Commerce. He thought that Yixing should be laughing at him because of it. The man then said that he had heard that the author of the book had come to Mao Lin at the beginning to discuss cooperation in publishing the book but was sent away. The man then pointed out to Mao Lin that his decision had made the entire Chamber of Commerce pay for it. The man was about to say that if they lost the selection of the first-level Chamber of Commerce, Mao Lin might lose his position as the chairman. But before he could finish, Mao Lin declared that he was the chairman of the Pingjiang Chamber of Commerce and he had his own ways to solve things. Mao Lin ordered his servants to prepare a gift and follow him to visit Yifeng. Simultaneously, in the martial arts gym kitchen, Zhang Qing reminded Yifeng that he had said they would be able to eat meat if the book was sold. Yifeng told Zhang Qing that it was the reason why he was trying to make tofu taste like meat. Since the book had been published, Yifeng expected that there would be some money. He believed that the Beifeng Chamber of Commerce wouldn't be more stingy than the Pingjiang Chamber of Commerce. Yifeng was getting anxious, wondering if he had just been hasty. Suddenly, a man outside the gym announced that on behalf of the Beifeng Chamber of Commerce, he, the butler of the Yin family, had come to see Yifeng. Yifeng seemed to have triggered the law of attraction. He told Zhang Qing to remember that cooking was all about ideas and not just ingredients. Yifeng said to the butler of the Yin family that he had come just in time, saying that he was just about to cook. Yifeng wondered where the money was. He was thinking that if the butler didn't have a money box, he should at least have a money plate, a money bag, or a money string. The butler was alarmed. He thought that Yifeng was blaming him for being too late. He immediately asked for Yifeng's forgiveness and gave him the exclusive deposit card prepared by the Chamber of Commerce. He informed Yifeng that inside the card were 100,000 gold coins from the previous month's book sales. Yifeng froze upon knowing that there were 100,000 gold coins inside the card. He couldn't believe that a huge sum of money had actually been given to him. He got excited thinking that every month from that day on, the Chamber of Commerce would deposit the monthly book sales into his card on time. Because of Yifeng's subtle expression, the butler couldn't help but wonder if the money they gave was too little. The butler immediately excused himself, saying that he wouldn't bother Yifeng any longer. He thought to himself that he should hurry back and report Yifeng's attitude to Yingxing. Yifeng didn't prevent the butler from leaving. He just told him to take care and to visit and play sometime. Yifeng couldn't keep himself from grinning. He kissed Zhang Qing and the demon wolf on the cheek. He received 100,000 gold coins as his income for 1 month. Yifeng was touched because he finally experienced the happiness of rich people. Yifeng invited his friends to dance with him on that joyous day, and asked the light man to put the word Richmond on the big screen for him. Witnessing Yifeng's actions, Mao Lin felt awkward. Yifeng's eyes bulged when he realized that Mao Lin was actually in front of him. He asked Mao Lin why he had come to visit. Mao Lin apologized to Yifeng for coming without notifying him and for what had happened the last time they had a meeting. He then offered Yifeng 1,000 gold coins. Mao Lin was confident that Yifeng wouldn't refuse since 1,000 gold coins were already a year's income for an ordinary person. Yifeng asked Mao Lin to speak directly. Knowing that Mao Lin could not be trusted, Yifeng was sure that he was planning something. Mao Lin told Yifeng that they were in the era of cultural renaissance, saying that although the Pingjiang Chamber of Commerce had a big business, it couldn't just rest on its laurels. He claimed that they would follow the trend and seek new development. Mao Lin told Yifeng that he was planning to continue his cooperation with him. He promised Yifeng that their Chamber of Commerce would do anything in its power to help him publish the books. Yifeng reminded Mao Lin that he had personally told him that there was no benefit in publishing the book. He then said that he thought that Mao Lin still focused on the interests of the Chamber of Commerce. Mao Lin said that he believed that Yifeng was not stingy. He admitted that he had said something wrong that day, but he said that Yifeng shouldn't have taken it seriously. Yifeng clarified that he had taken Mao Lin's words to heart and that he was a stingy person. Mao Lin was annoyed. He told Yifeng that it would be better for him to speak a little more affectionately. Mao Lin thought that without their cooperation, Yifeng's book would only fetch a small price. Yifeng asked Mao Lin to leave if he didn't have much to say, telling him that he wouldn't accompany him any longer. Mao Lin quickly explained himself, saying that he wasn't very good at talking and that he didn't mean to offend Yifeng. He asked Yifeng how much it would cost for him to cooperate with them. Yifeng advised Mao Lin to stop forcing someone in the middle of the day, telling him that it wasn't good for his status. Mao Lin offered Yifeng 10,000 gold coins. He thought that it was the money Yifeng couldn't earn in 10 years. Mao Lin then told Yifeng that his appetite might have been a little too big if he still wouldn't accept it. Yifeng laughed at the 10,000 gold coins that Mao Lin had offered. He revealed the top-level deposit card and asked Mao Lin if 10,000 gold coins were really a large amount of money. Mao Lin's eyes bulged. He hadn't expected that Yifeng would belittle 10,000 gold coins. He then realized that the Beifeng Chamber of Commerce had actually given Yifeng a top-level deposit card which had a minimum deposit of 100,000 gold. Yifeng nonchalantly instructed Zhang King and the Demon Wolf to see the guests off. Inside the martial arts gym, Yifeng continued to celebrate his success in earning a lot of money. At the same time, in Xuanwu sect, Lin Yan informed Ning Xuanwu that the people who had gone to Jiangping City to look for some information had reported that there was no trace of Jing Wuchen in Jiangping City. She told Ning Xuanwu that there was definitely something wrong. Ning Xuanwu looked for Jing Wufeng. Lin Yan was startled when Jing Wufeng suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Ning Xuanwu ordered Jing Wufeng to go down the mountain to have a look. He wanted Jing Wufeng to find Jing Wuchen and bring him back to report. Lin Yan asked Ning Xuanwu to confirm if he was sure that nothing would go wrong. Ning Xuanwu told Lin Yan that with the cloak of swiftness on Jing Wufeng's body, there was no rival for him in terms of speed. He was confident that no one could hurt Jing Wufeng, saying that even if someone could detect his movements, they wouldn't be able to see Jing Wufeng's real body.